the most dramatic Bachelorette season recap of all time. My name is Brent Baum, and I'm not only your favorite Couturian, I'm the only Couturian. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. And welcome to my very first Bachelor recap. I typically do sports commentary, but on the side, I really enjoy The Bachelor, Bachelor Nation. It's just one of those followings that unless you're really part of Bachelor Nation, you're not going to understand why we get so excited, so hype whenever it's a new season, where we're talking about The Bachelor or Bachelorette, or we're talking about the men tell all, women tell all, or Bachelor in Paradise. It's just something that all of us loyal fans, we watch it. We just can't wait. But I really got hooked on to The Bachelor, Bachelorette season with the flagship show, watching Bachelorette with Andy's season. That's really got me hooked on. I've been watching it ever since. I don't miss an episode. So let me dive right into Becca's season, episode 2. I would have done episode 1, but I had some technical difficulties, but I'm here. So let's get right into episode 2. The very first group date. The guys were put together, dressed up in tuxes. You saw Jordan. Jordan had to put on a show with his runway walk and using different jargon, different technique. And obviously, to me, Becca's just not impressed with this guy at all. All Jordan cares about is his modeling career, his hair. Does his suits match his socks? I mean, he just kept going on about that on the very first episode. He was critiquing everybody's suit. Everybody. And Jordan, he's good. He's a good villain. A vill's got a vil. He adds that element to the show. But he's not going to last that long. Becca's looking for a guy that's going to give that 50-50 to the relationship. And Jordan's not going to do that, even though I do get humored by some of the stuff that Jordan has to say and how concerned he is about his hair. But that really wasn't the main controversy that occurred on the very first group date. Really, the controversy really stemmed from Lincoln. Everybody wanted to talk about that brother. Everybody. They kept talking about how Lincoln was cheating, whether it was the ice bucket, not staying in the ice bucket for the right amount of time, or it was shoving his way through the mud as he was crawling to get to the cake, to propose to Becca and take that picture. And speaking of that day, I thought it was great to see Rachel and Bryan make a return. It's always nice to see people who are part of the Bachelor family come back onto the show. They're still engaged. I'm surprised, but it's working out. Who knows? They might have a kid next year. They may have a kid by Paradise on the way. Who knows? But it was nice to see them. And right after Lincoln won, to me, Lincoln didn't cheat. Lincoln did what he had to do to win. There was no cheating going on. Guys are just jealous that Lincoln beat them to the cake, to the ring, had a kiss with Becca, took a picture with Becca, and he was the winner. And right after that, we all saw what happened. He was at the table. He had his picture in a frame. He placed it on the table to show all the guys, hey, I won, and I'm here to stay. And then here comes Connor. Connor has to throw on this little tantrum saying that, I don't want to see this picture. And to me, Connor is no big deal. He won. Let him brag about it. You don't need to show that level of insecurity that he won the competition. Who cares? And then they kept on going back and forth. Lincoln was placing the picture up. Then Connor was placing it down. Then Lincoln was placing it up. Then Connor was placing it down. It was back and forth, bickering, bantering. And then before you know it, Connor had enough and just tossed the picture all the way across to the other room into the pool. The picture got shattered and Lincoln was heartbroken. I mean, this guy was in tears. He was like, oh, my trophy. I am so heartbroken. And excuse me for my British accent. Wasn't trying to do that, but, he was just so heartbroken by it. And then he went over to tell Becca about it and how he felt that Connor was a threat. He said he felt threatened by Connor. And Becca just obviously was not happy. That was a memory that they may want to look back at. But at the same time, it's no big deal. It's not as if the actual picture got damaged. It's just the frame got shattered. But this guy can get a new frame. No big deal. And then here comes Connor. Becca calls him over and asks him about the situation and notices an aggressive side from him. And Becca's not looking for a guy to be super aggressive. She does not want that at all. And Connor just showed displays of that potentially, if they further the relationship and things don't go his way, he may show that aggressive side to Becca. And that's what's concerning Becca. And I don't blame Becca. You don't need another guy to bring that element. You don't want that. So honestly, I don't have any problem with what Lincoln did. I may have done the same thing. I would have let the guys know, hey, I won this competition. But at the same time, I'm not sure I would have went over to tell Becca that he shattered my picture. I know, we need the drama. We all want the drama. We want this to be the most exciting Bachelorette season ever. But at the same time, Lincoln, if you have a problem with Connor, you talk to him one-on-one. You don't need to go cry to Becca about what really happened. So it's really that simple. You move on. And Connor, honestly, I think that Connor's going to be in the doghouse for a while ever since that incident. But next, I also want to talk about during that time frame in between of Lincoln and Connor going at it. You can see that Jean Blanc and Becca had a nice moment. They got you can see that they're looking real chummy on the couch talking. And then Jean Blanc, he was working his way in. He got a kiss. Jean Blanc, he's now on the list, the kiss list. And you can see the guy's pretty smooth. He knows what he's doing. Becca and him have pretty good chemistry so far. And they had a nice little exchange. And you saw Jean Blanc, he ultimately got the first group date rose. So he's safe for the rose ceremony. And I don't know. We'll see. Jean Blanc might be one of the top guys up there. He might get pretty far into the season. So far it's a good start from him. But also, one thing that I just thought also was pretty funny. I really, 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 to me, the one thing that I got a kick out of it was the one-on-one date, Blake and Becca. I thought that was great for Becca to go back to her past, go into and full of her past from Arie, thinking of Arie, the race car, the couch that they infamously broke up on, the most dramatic Bachelorette breakup of all time. That couch, that dreaded couch. You saw they had the TV monitors of Becca and Arie, and then, Becca had the liberties of smashing all that. How great could that felt? How great. And then Little John, the ultimate crunkman, he was in the background hyping Becca up. I thought that was a pretty cool touch to the show. And aside from that, when it got to, I'd say, when Blake and Becca got to their dinner date, Blake was just, something about Blake, he was just too over the top. He was too over the top. It's too much information to start off in a relationship. I mean, this was their first date. I get it. Things happen at an accelerated rate on The Bachelor. I get it. But he was talking about his ex-girlfriend and how they broke up in similar fashion, minus the cameras, similar fashion to how Arie and Becca broke up. But at the same time, I look at Blake, man, just to me on a very first date, you don't talk about your exes. There's certain things that are off limits. Exes, politics, there's certain things you just don't talk about on your very first date. I mean, to me, that's a faux pas. I mean, that's something that I personally would not do. But, he did that, and also he's just too lovey-dovey, talking about, oh, this feels so natural. Take me now. I think that everybody in relationships, they enjoy the chase. It doesn't have to happen all right away. You don't need to distill all of it at once and say how much we're so perfect for each other. Becca's going to want a little bit of a chase. A little bit. And Blake, to me, was just too easy. Too easy for Becca. And not only that, Becca had to initiate the kiss. I mean, the guy needs to show a little bit of confidence and initiate some things. That's what I'm noticing with a lot of these guys, that Becca continuously is initiating the kiss. Whether we're talking about Blake or we're talking about Clay. And, there's some other guys I'm not thinking of right now that, Becca initiated. I think that some of these guys need to take the initiative. And I'm not saying certain people should have certain roles, but show some confidence. Take the initiative. But aside from that, I just thought that Blake was just giving up too much too early in a relationship, and that he needs to tone it down a little bit. But anyways, I think that you look at the second group date, the dodgeball date, You can see that the guys were having fun before the even dodgeball took place. You saw that they had the guys, they were throwing the dodgeballs at Becca, having fun with that. And, I think that any type of date where you have some physical activity going on, like dodgeball, bike riding, whatever it may be, I think that was really cool. And I thought that was a nice little touch to add Fred Lillard. I really just know Fred Lillard from American Wedding. I know he's been an actor for a long time, but that's where I remember him from. And then also Chris Harrison. They were providing some commentary. And just the green team, they dominated Pink. Leo kept on being the last guy for Pink. I mean, Pink got eradicated, even up the teams a little bit. You can look at some of the guys out there and say, okay, this guy's athletic, this guy's not athletic. You look at guys like Colton and Clay, they're former football players. They're obviously athletic guys. So that's why I feel like you gotta mix it up a little bit. I mean, make it a little bit more fair. That's how it should have been. It shouldn't have been so lopsided. So anyways, I thought it was pretty funny how Alex, he joked around when they placed the trophy on the table, and he says, is it okay if I put the trophy on the table? Because we don't want another Connor incident where they take it so personally. I mean, come on, you win the competition, you're going to brag about it. You're going to show it off a little bit. But after the trophy presentation, you saw the trophy on the table. You saw they transitioned over to Wills and Becca. I think that Wills and Becca, they have a nice little connection there. As Wills mentioned, that he's a closet nerd. Becca said, I'm not a closet nerd, I am a nerd. He has the Harry Potter tattoo. And, you can see that Wills is a pretty down-to-earth guy. And Becca was feeling his style, his swagger. You can see that they have a nice little kiss. Now Wills is on the kiss. He's on the list. And I thought that, that was nice that they were able to have that conversation. And I think that another guy that Becca seems to get along well with. And I think Wills is a cool guy. He doesn't seem like he's going to be part of the drama. He's an easygoing guy. And that might be what Becca needs. I mean, that would be great, if Wills is one of the guys that gets further out. I actually like Wills. I think Wills is cool. But the most controversial, even more so than Lincoln, was Colton. The fact that Colton, while he had a conversation with Becca, he was waiting. He was a little bit ambivalent. Should I tell Becca? Should I not tell Becca that I had a relationship with Tia? Yes, Tia. I could not believe it when I heard that Colton said that he dated Tia prior to going on the show. So he had to tell Becca, because Tia probably would have told Becca, and then Colton would have been really in the doghouse if that came up. So he took the initiative and told Becca the situation, that he dated Tia previously, but he's here for her. And that's not what Becca wanted to hear, obviously, because then Becca started to contemplate, is Colton here for Tia? Was he there hoping that Tia was going to be the Bachelorette? And I'm so happy. I'm just so happy that it was not Tia, because I lost it when I heard Tia get brought, because Tia, she's gorgeous. She's a gorgeous woman from Arkansas. I mean, she's got that accent to her, that southern drawl, that southern twang. She has that, I'll give her that. But at the same time, I cannot stand it how she politicked her way to get the other Becca Martinez, off Arie's season, and how she kept on emphasizing to Arie, oh, well, Becca, she's not here for the right reasons. She's not ready for you. She's too young. Even though Becca clearly was probably more mature than about 80% of the women on Arie's season, yet Tia kept on putting that in Arie's head, to the point where Arie was just looking for a scapegoat to get Becca off the show. So I cannot let Tia go on that, because Tia just kept on doing it. And I know every single season there's always got to be that one person who has to tell the main the bachelor or bachelorette, oh, well, they're not here for the right reasons. They're not here for the right reasons. It just bothers me. It really does. So look at Colton and Becca. Becca just, she really caught her off guard, and now she's ambivalent about Colton, and where not. Maybe Colton he might not be there for the right reasons. I mean, Colton, he's a former football player. He was a quarterback. A lot of times, quarterbacks, they tend to have a lot of different women gawking at them. I mean, they're the star of the team for the most part. They're the most important player on the team. So I get that. He might have a little bit of a player side to him. And maybe he is ready to settle down. But something's telling me, I'm sure many of you are thinking the same thing, that he still has a little bit of that player side to him. So who knows? I mean, I personally think Colton's cool. He's being honest with Becca about what really happened. I mean, they dated. And I'm actually rooting for Colton. I hope that Colton does not get kicked off due to the fact that due to the fact that he dated Tia for a brief period of time. So, you know, I just thought also, and last thing I'm going to say about Tia, I just thought it was so funny. I'm sure some of you guys watched it. So funny how Tia, she was floored she was going to be the next Bachelorette. After Arie's season, they were interviewing her about who the next Bachelorette may be. She was so confident that she was going to be the next Bachelorette. She was saying all the right things. She was planning that whole thing out, you know. But she did not get it. I'm so happy that Becca got it instead. And honestly, sure, we'll probably see Tia on Paradise. And I'll admit, like I said, Tia's a lovely lady. She's beautiful. I just cannot stand what she did to the other Becca, because Becca was one of my favorite contestants on Arie's season. I just thought she was so cool, so down to earth. She challenged people, and I mean, she challenged Arie, and Arie wasn't ready for that. And I think the rest of the girls that weren't really ready for Becca, that she was just too sure of herself and too confident, and she was above a lot of other people. So, I would say she was just so much above everybody else. But aside from that, I want to go to the next area. You also saw that, let's talk about some of the other guys. You saw that Clay and Becca, they had like a little moment. Clay Harbor, he was a tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles and many other teams. See, I'm from Philadelphia, so I'm familiar with Clay. He was a guy that, he's been a journeyman in the NFL, and you saw, I thought it was kind of cheesy, but they did the whole, on their little exchange, you saw that Clay made Becca was the quarterback and Clay was the receiver. He said, okay, you're going to throw me the pass, and after Becca threw him the pass, Clay caught it, and they had a little kiss. I mean, it was a little forced. It wasn't natural, but you got to do what you got to do to get a kiss. And after all of that, I thought it was hilarious how Jordan decided to strip down to his briefs, interrupt David, the chicken guy. Yes, the chicken guy that David was getting into it with Jordan. And Jordan was like, yeah, but you're the chicken guy. And touche. Because David has been virtually non-existent ever since he took off the chicken suit. I mean, he's just a regular guy with the suit. Honestly, chicken suit David is so much better than suit David. And he just leave the chicken suit the entire season. I mean, I thought that added a funny element to the show. And honestly, I notice him now. I don't really notice him that much. But the entire time, Jordan was just talking about himself. He wasn't really trying to talk to Becca and get to know Becca. It was all about his modeling career. And it's pretty obvious he's just there for his modeling career. But at the same time, Jordan's a guy that needs to stay on the show. He adds that villain character and, a little bit of entertainment. But eventually, I don't really think Becca's going to keep him around that much longer. He might easily be on the 2-on-1 at some point. Who knows? My guess is probably going to come down to Lincoln and Connor at some point in the 2-on-1. Also, you saw towards the end, Colton and Becca, they tried to rekindle things. But you can still see Becca's hurt by the fact that Colton dated Tia prior to being on the show, and they just they're looking for that reassurance as Derek about that reassurance. Everybody remembers Derek and JoJo. The reassurance thing tends to be a big theme in The Bachelor. So, but they didn't quite get that. You can see they had a little hug, and after they had a little hug, it's just Colton said good night, and they left it at that. So you saw they had the rose ceremony, and after they had the rose ceremony, there wasn't really that much drama on the rose ceremony. You see Lincoln was one of the, he was like second to last one. And then Jordan and Connor, the two guys that I'm not a big fan of, they got their rose. And then obviously Colton was going to be the last guy to receive a rose. That had a little bit of drama, but it really wasn't much drama. It's pretty obvious that Colton was going to get a rose. And even though I typically do not like to look at the teasers, the sneak peeks at all, you know, stay tuned. You know, next episode we might just see some bachelorettes from the past on the show, and who knows what might happen. Who knows? If Tia's there, who knows? But anyways, you know, I want to thank you guys for being here and listening to what I had to say. It's my very first one. I will get better in time. Thank you for joining me. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. I will do my best to do this every week to provide some commentary and recap each episode whenever I can. And I want to hear some of your comments. I want to hear what you guys have to say, some of your opinions, and what you guys want me to talk more about. And aside from that, I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And remember, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear.